Welcome to another new episode of Cracking Chiliad. Originally the last one, Unknowing the Truth. Today we're going to go deep, really open your mind. Listen carefully, let it sink in, and do your own research. A mystery has to be mysterious, right? Pour yourself a nice refreshing drink. Light up what you love to smoke. Sit back in your relaxing sofa. We have to learn from the obvious experiences that we experience in the future. The obvious stuff. Think of the shadow. Think of the petrol trail at Galileo. That gutter is meant to lay a trail in. Not at that moment, but that time will come. We have already seen a lot in the previous episodes. But the most important thing, we do know how to see the answer. But to emphasize once again, we can't continue without the right answer after the race. For those wondering why the series is so extensive, to start the mystery, you need to know the thought behind it. You need to know why, how, and when. I believe after this episode that will all be clear. How much more information I hand you over, the sooner we start it. And while there's still some things unknown until we do start it. In GTA 6 coming up, we need to hurry. As I indicated in the first episode, this series will give you the tools and learns you how to see the answer, and I believe what we need to do to start the mystery. Tools, that's a check. The path, that's a check. And how to see the answer, that's a check. Let's hope we can check the great scorer's answer soon. It looks like we have to prepare the box. And possibly the truck? At this point, the valet parking key locker isn't ready to be loaded into the truck. The invisible barrier in the truck tells us. It could be that the question pieces in the race itself. For example, red or white. One or two cameras fail or succeed the stunt jump. This could throw a spanner in the works. I think we can all agree that a full bar alone is not enough to solve the biggest mystery of all time. Here is the only constant answer. We must answer this with the golden bar first. Because if we get one answer wrong of all the cutscenes, once you're on top of the mountain, then we will get the UFO. The UFO is a consolation prize. A good try, but you get the UFO like everyone else. We do not want to be the winners. We are the great scorers. So time for the final part, starting the mystery. First, a final check, what answer we are looking for. You can't check often enough when it comes to the vanilla unicorn strippers. Let's see the great scores answer Nikki will give us. In previous episodes, we have seen that when you go home with Juliet, the stripper, after the cutscene, you get the golden bar. Let's see if it is also possible with Nikki. If you go with her, you'll be a great scorer already. This can also be achieved in missions. We have already seen the Simeon cutscene is possible, but we already missed the one from the race. The first is, it looks like one missed influences the other's constant. Because we missed one already, we do have to go back to the drawing table. By avoiding the cameras the whole race, picking up stuff during the race, and exploding the truck with the box in it is not enough, and also not as smooth as the race. It is a mess. So, we have to come up with something else. It would be logical that we need the truck, right? Our room of play gets smaller by holding to it. And of all the props in the area, there is one clearly outstanding. It makes our field of play even smaller. Because if you leave it, it will respawn. The key locker box. It looks like mine you have to use. And that it slides so nicely into the truck when the barrier is gone. It is made for it. Also the difference in the red and white car with regard to moving the box. After seeing how important the blueprint map was in finding the right route, it wouldn't be surprising to assume this map will help us a great deal on our journey. Back at the mural, it's hard to see, but there is written begin next to the V. Who else noticed it as the great mystery hunter and friend Tal the Atlas? After the previous episode, it's clear the box and truck don't want to work together yet. We should investigate the box more. What do we already know? When you throw Molotovs on the box, it can burn for up to 12 minutes. Only the box is on foot, not manageable when it is on fire. So if you want to load it in, you need to use the car. Look in the upper left corner of the mural for the V. This is clearly important. Notice the eye on the right side too. Keep this in mind for later on. The box itself is also a puzzle. Just like the race is a puzzle, the box needs to be activated in some kind of way. We do have a lot of sticky bombs, bullets, Molotovs, and to make it complete, also gasoline to use. Sounds like we've got some possibilities in hands. Let's first see if we can find some marks, as that was the way in the race, pointing us the right way. Let's first look at the new checkpoint when you take the box with you on its wheels, or on its back, when you try to cross the white line on the ground in front of the entrance of the UD. The box will fall over an invisible boundary. Now the box is on its back, same edge that torpedoes the box. We can't just drive past here. That would be ignoring a mark. It's not a real border, it's programmed. It's not a curb, it's just a white paint stripe at the entrance. Luckily, I've got this video only once in all that time I experienced that I could push the box in the UD without the barrier. I've noticed such a thing more often, that they Rockstar only shows you once what you can achieve. This also for the box in the truck, but that barrier was gone a few times more. Would this border tell us an advantage? The box isn't ready yet. Save yourself the time and effort. To me, it seems like Rockstar Express sometimes shows what it could be. It could also happen to one of you. Check it out. It slides just in, baby, like in the tow truck mission from Tanya. Okay, so if that barrier can be gone. And so right now our game is marked. We have to figure out something we can do with the box. We need to pass the entrance without the mark. And then we'll see what we have to do with the truck. Or who knows if we get the box that far, it will also slide into the truck. You see, there are some answers still unknown until we started. That's why I made this series. I could have kept going on and maybe start the mystery. Or maybe not. And because GTA 5 and its mystery deserves it to be solved, by sharing all this information, I am sure we will start it soon. The box also has a range after which it spawns again. If you have the box with you, it will always stay with you until you lose sight of it. When you're too far away from the key locker, it will return to the spawn location. This is, of course, in front of the Arcadius entrance. So when you're no longer inside of the box, but inside of the spawn location, the box will not disappear. We'll park the box here for a moment. As long as it's upright, no one will drive it upside down. For Integrity Way, Tinkle Mobile Technology. For Integrity sounds like what we are looking for. But what do they want to tell with the puddle of Tinkle? And Mobile Technology? Los Santos, the attracting wall art. At the entrance there to the stairs behind the wall art, two interesting posters hang on the wall, of the Space Monkeys, and one of Pisswasser. Sounds familiar. For Integrity in Los Santos, Tinkle Mobile Technology. Tinkle could represent our gasoline we just picked up. It is also mobile. But what technology? Tinkle about it. The EE sign, prominently visible from this location. This makes it even more special, since cracking an Easter egg is our only goal at the moment. In the Maze Bank, this location is nothing but Chiliad mystery all around. Now that I do thinkle about it, I believe we should tinkle all over the Integrity Way. But we need a more accurate plan, of course. What about those 4 plates? Always strike me. Let's take a look with some better weather. At the moment, the sun moves exactly behind the Maze Bank Tower. The tip of the shadow approaches to the plates are exactly in line with the EE sign on top of the Maze Bank. And the car fit perfectly on the 4 plates. Without a doubt, this looks promising. But where are we going to put the box? It doesn't fit here on the plates, and to connect anything, it should at least not being connected already. We have to look further. When you tinkle of mobile technology, you immediately thinkle of a conductor. If you want to connect something, you would prefer to do it on steel or copper. And since the wheels of the car fit perfectly on the 4 tiles, but there's no more room for the box, we have to see if we can find an interesting place for the box somewhere, and then connect it via mobile tinkle. Wheels perfect all on 1 tile, and so forcing you to look at the Los Santos wall paint, the EE artwork, and the Maze Bank. The perfect location to start the mystery. But let's first take a look at the Integrity Way. We are now on Alta Street. When you also look in the physical map of GTA, this is also Alta Street. Integrity Way is around the corner. It is also not named in the map, nor does it appear on your screen at the bottom right. Only when you get the police behind you. The call is that they must come to Integrity Way quickly. Here we are in the Integrity Way, the Penrith building watching over us. Could the eye of the city mural represent the eye on the Penrith building? It is much easier to drive around with the box when it is on its wheels than when it is lying down. This is because wheels are of course more convenient to drive with, but especially because the other drivers handle it careful. That gives us the opportunity to place it somewhere else as we are, and as long as we are in front of the Arcadius on the plates, the box will keep standing here. And tinkle about it if you want to connect something with mobile tinkle. We need at least 2 of the same type of locations to connect to right. With the mural in mind, maybe we could get the box hit by lightning. What could be used to activate the box? Water? Fire? Electricity? This steel plate has a square in the middle and puts the locker box on his wheels again. The only way that the box is safe for not being driven over. That clearly tells me the box need to stand on its wheels, and because only here you put it up straight easily. It has to be here. What if we connect this plate to the one for the car? In the EE shadow. Connect them with tinkle. I can hear you tinkle already. Let's see how far we get with a full can of gasoline. Although I have to say in advance that it would be useful if we could have some left over to set the truck on fire. Now, it looks like maybe... Are we going to reach it? Nope. We are not even going to get close.
This don't make no fucking sense.
No, this makes no fucking sense. Even Franklin says it, approximately 10 to 15% short. We should rethink our strategy. Now I know from a long time ago that somewhere down here in the tunnels there is a short circuit, and during the mission we can also go very far into the tunnel. We can even get to the electrical sparks. The electrical sparks remind me of the Chiliad mural on top of the mountain. Come on, let's go take a look. Maybe that will bring us something. Since we can also go that far into the tunnels without failing the mission. That says something. Although unfortunately we do lose the armored truck. Here on the left downstairs is an armor and a heavy shotgun located. After we escape from the cops, I believe we should pick them up before heading to Simeon. Escaping via this route after we have pulled off the heist of the century is a perfect fit. Easy to lose the cops, rearming ammo and armor, and exiting almost at Simeon's doorstep. How perfect could it be? Soon when we reach the rails, turn left. And then we are almost there. Remember, you can get anywhere here without failing the mission. That is pretty interesting, isn't it? Here we are, the electric sparks. We better hurry before a subway passes by. Let's see where exactly these are on the map, and place a point of interest. Maybe we can somehow charge the box with the electrical voltage above. Notice the strange roads and tunnels that intersect here. It gives a familiar pattern on the map. The sparks are right below the integrity way. Of all the thing I can imagine, electricity to activate the box is my preference for sure. Pay attention to the lightning at the Chiliad mural. I do believe and hope starting the mystery will be the biggest challenge. We will learn from this how it works for the rest. Here at the entrance of the tunnel, by the way, 3 phases electrical power switches leading to the UD. Now that we are out of the tunnel, we can go back to the integrity way to see exactly where the electrical sparks are located. First, let's put the car on the plate along the other one for the box. Here we are. I do already know the location of the sparks, so let's go there. There is something interesting if you thinkle about it. Fits perfect to Tinkle mobile technology. Only one problem. Another steel plate. This one, if you were to look at it on the map scale, is located with the highest precision below this steel plate. Only one problem. We can't get on the curb with the box. Notice the point of interest, but also the shape of the roads. They form a V at the integrity way. I believe we have to connect them via mobile tinkle. I do also pass this other gutter. At some point, you need to go up the curb. With the red, they some sort of tell you to do it. Connect them and conduct the power to the box and charge it. Of course, in reality, the electric sparks would not do anything through the road, and gasoline is not considered an electrical conductor. It is still a game, and in a game, especially in the mystery, we do need to use our imagination. Ignite the gasoline trail by pulling a burnout, and simultaneously explode the sticky bomb, while car still standing on the iron plate. The entire fuel trail is only fully on fire for a short time. About 1 or 2 seconds, the moment of magic lasts. From the ignition of the trail to the magic moment is about 8 seconds. That is 4 in-game time minutes. Because it's all about the box at this point. Let's first look at everything from the plate where the box is on. This steel plate, 15% of the gasoline. Let's see, by means of the percentage, if we can get some more clarity. If there should be any tinkled here, we do need to have a nice round number, the same as it is at the Galileo puzzle. That whole puzzle is exactly 100% gasoline for all 3 characters. If you're not familiar with the Galileo puzzle, you should definitely check my channel for it. Eventually, I believe, we have used all our ammo before we will end the race. The next pickups are already waiting for us here below in the tunnels. An armor and a heavy shotgun could be handy with the 5 stars we do have behind our ass at that time. So the first well cover was 15%. To this one, another 45, then makes 40% left for the last 2. The iron plate with the electrical shortcut underneath in the subway. Over the well with a red curb, toward the box its place. And that is exactly 20%. If this one is also 20, that makes it very interesting to me. It would be a big coincidence if we used exactly 100% to connect all the plates. You would almost say they put it like this on purpose. If you pay attention, you will notice it already. This isn't meant to be done because the trail disappears, but that it does perfectly fit 100% all the plates connected. Even if the trail did not disappear, it wasn't going to work either. We want to keep at least 1 sticky for the truck to blow open. So 4 plates, only 3 sticky bombs left. That we need exactly the whole can of gasoline to connect everything. Could say we are in the right corner. Let's see if any plates rise above the other, for what reason. Once you've fucked it up with the key locker, by tipping it over or anything, you can always drive away from it and get a new one in front of the Arcadius. But be sure not drive towards the maze bank. There are a lot of cameras pointing to the crossroad. You should even be careful while driving towards a UD. Driving around with a box, after you just finished the race, full of adrenaline, is really incredibly difficult. It takes quite some time to get that under control, if that is even possible to control fully. The box has to stand up straight, else the other cars will drive over the box. To put up his wheels, the steel plate have really been made for it. So easy. It was funny by accident I found out while I was driving around with the box. The whole race. Timing was of the utmost importance. Everything we did came with perfect timing. Of course, that can't be different after the race. When you include how you played the game, of course, that also includes how long you took to play. That's why we will get obvious times throughout the story. Same as this one, like a shadow or a plane passing over. Imagine whatever you can. Everything could be used for timing, especially a mark in the shadow. The needle of the sundial hits 2 steel plates. The second one that is hit is exactly in line with the electrical plate and the maze bank. A nice extra is that the gasoline trail to this plate is also exactly 20%. This would be a perfect timer. It is exactly in line with the maze bank. And in sense of timing, it connects perfect to the race. Since we arrive at UD at about 11 o'clock, we have 4 minutes left before the timer is here. Back to the parking plates, the ones where the car has to be placed. All wheels fit perfect on them, all plates 1 wheel, pointing towards the maze bank, and the EE cube and the Los Santos artwork. The shadow of the maze bank. Let's see when the shadow of the EE logo on the front hits the car. Then let's pause time. This looks like it. Let's go and look at the other steel plates. Mobile technology. As I have mentioned last episode, there are 2 reasons why we haven't got a phone. One for keeping our story still open. The other reason is not being able to change our view. This causes the shadow to stop moving and make a mark, and ruin our timer. At the moment later on, when we exit the UD, the shadow's error should be gone. Matches perfectly. This could work as a timing we need. That makes 3 steel plates interesting, plus the one reserved for the car, in front of the Los Santos wall art. One for the box, one above the short circuit in the subway, and this one getting marked by the light beam, exactly at the same time as the shadow of the EE on the plates for the car fall. That makes it quite mysterious, if you ask me. Here is perfection, the shadow of the maze bank covering the 4 plates that have been placed with such a perfection. The car fits on it perfectly, and standing position perfectly in line with the maze bank. The perfect position to activate the box. The timing matching the light bar perfect that goes over the 3rd plate. I have a masterful idea. If you look at the box and the map, the location of the Integrity Way, and the city mural, the distance of the gasoline trails to each plate. To the powered steel plate, costs you 20%. To the plate where the light beam goes, over 20%, a pool of 10 under the box. Then we still have a nice 50% left for the truck itself. From the moment you ignite the trail, it takes 8 seconds for the entire trail to be on fire. It takes just under 8 seconds for you to stand on the 4 plates. So we can ignite the gasoline, standing on the plate next to the boxes, simultaneous ignite the sticky bombs, and get back in time and have the EE shadow on our ass while using special on the 4 other plates. While the gasoline trail forms at that exact moment, the perfect V. That doesn't sound crazy at all. A close-up helicopter view of the maze bank, and especially the EE sign that you have to pay attention to. Because in the Franklin and Lamar mission, we don't have a phone. The shadow is the only timer we have. And since when you use the camera, the shadow resets, and it can't be used as a timer anymore. That's the most important reason why a phone can't be used. In this way, hiding the mark for us. The original version had no first person to change the camera's view and so reset the shadow. Once we have our phone, the shadow is corrected, else we do play with a mark. It's just perfection, right? We're standing on top of the EE sign on the maze bank tower. If you look closely, you can even see Franklin's shadow on the 4 steel plates on the ground. Think back over the entire series, everything we've seen. Could it all be a coincidence? It all fits together too nicely that it can hardly be, isn't it? Think back about the race, everything fits perfectly. Here after the race, the timing, the shadow, the box, and the armored truck, all the clues helping us by underlining what we think. Is there anyone who still believes there is no mystery? Pay close attention to the mark that goes towards the steel plate on the right side of the street. We naturally want to be with the car on the plates at the ultimate moment, so timing is crucial. The moment the shadow hits the steel plate is approximately the moment of ignition. 8 seconds later, the mark in the shadow will point, then, at the same moment on the plate, the V will burn fully and we will stand using the special in the EE shadow. Charging the box with our special mobile technology, boosting the box with electricity and light, and with our special ability. See the guard running here on the right once we have arrived at the UD. This is a great example how Rockstar programmed the game for us, that we were able to do our thing and keep the guard alive. Another nice way is here's the guard will follow you. Some guy standing in front of the Arcadius will try to pull you out of the car. From that moment, the guard will stop following your ass. With some practice, you will be able to keep the box standing upright. Not like this. Now we will see how much time we get while the guard is lost. If you're able to keep it upright, the time it takes to get the box on the steel plate is so much quicker. In this try, it was great to see how long the guard stays away. Even if you completely fuck it up, if you're lucky, you don't have to kill the guard. But the mark in the shadow, our only timer since we don't have a phone. Do we now have a time frame? 13:03, because of the delay in the shadow, is the moment of truth for the box to be activated. That is approximately 4 minutes from finishing the race. That seems like a lot, But if you have to drive around with the valet parking key box once it tipped over, it's never enough. The best thing is quickly drive away from the Arcadius entrance to spawn a new one. Luckily, we don't have that guard running around. Else it would have been a very difficult task to achieve. Especially when Lamar just finished the race and you arrive at the box, still completely in race mode. You can be full of adrenaline with the box going this way without making a mistake. It can be quite difficult at some times. Well, finally it's back on its wheels, but now there's another tricky issue. The box doesn't always stay put. You can see the road slopes downward. But of course, the box has to stay on the steel plate. We need to charge it with the electricity, and with our special charge in the box through the steel plates at the perfect timing. It's all about the box itself. So whatever happens, the box needs to stay on the plate. A sticky bomb on it isn't a smart idea because of the chance it rolls away easily. Unless you put the sticky on the side towards the Penrith building, the blast will push it towards the hill. But the chance is very big your car will be blown up by sticky if it goes off too quickly, by the fire from the gasoline. Probably we have an other element to use in the mystery. Remember, everything here in the story has been placed here for us. We have got 4 stickies left, 1 for the doors of the truck, the other 3 to use to activate the box. The moment the mark in the shadow appears, you should hurry up pouring the gasoline trail if you're not too late already. Not too early because it will vaporize after some time. But we have got 3 sticky bombs, 2 on each end to make the V. 1 left on the truck. It's funny that just as we're finished laying the V, the one thing we can't do with the guard next to us, and there he is right in front of us. We obviously want a V to go off simultaneously, but if you only throw down 2 sticky bombs, they won't go off at once. If you throw down 3, the first one you plant will go off first. The water valve will give a great effect to the moment of truth, and the next 2 will go off at about the same time, with 1 just a fraction earlier. The second one should be on the electrical plate, as that distance just a fraction longer. In this try you see, I throw it in the wrong order as I do now believe. Eventually after this episode, I will make 1 extra for this series, with exactly what I believe is the best way. If I can make the video an uncut version, it could be the star of the mystery as well. You can already notice this is a highly tensioned environment. Did you see the box? It was launched away by the game while pushing it on the plate. Let's see how it looks in the mission if we form the V, the box plate, to the electric, and a trail to the light beam, marked 1. Make the shape of the V the same as on the box. And on the map, in the city mural, with the Penrith eye in our sight, the maze bank could be the center. Now also taking time into account, look, the shadow approaches the plate. If you try to put the box on the plate, you will experience that sometimes it stays up, other times it rolls down. Of course, if we want to charge the box, it has to stay on it. A bullet at the lock could make it different. Probably we will get a sign here already, but as long as the invisible barrier at the UD for the box goes away, everything is fine by me. No sign or anything. Let's go back to the box and see if we were able to load it into the truck now. As expected, the box is still on its place. No car will touch it. And as long as we are in front of the Arcadius, it can't respawn. Okay, let's go and see if the barrier is gone now. UD, here we come. I think everyone can imagine how many possibilities we have before we even get to this moment, let alone how many opportunities for error there are before we can even start thinking about how we're going to blow up the truck. But be sure to have a game plan before you get to this point. Listen to the guy once we push the box inside, what he is saying.
Worthless.
Worthless. I believe once we have the mark at the entrance away, there will be nobody laughing at the entrance anymore. It could definitely be the box, and the car need to be on their plates in the integrity way before the light beam hit the first plate. During the series, some people said my previous videos had more to do with the mystery. It's funny because the whole series and this episode in particular ties together almost all my old videos, even in one episode. Let me know what you think about the series. Have you already been able to complete the race unseen? The 3 sticky bombs and the gasoline forming the V. On this location, I'm not asking you to overlay the mural, but imagine it over this location, with the I being the Penrith building. And we are here now, making the V. Such a perfection in timing and everything. It's hard to deny there is a mystery, isn't it? It's now about when we're going to start it. The activation of the box could also, depending on how we did the race. Maybe there's a mistake already. Be sure to save your video afterwards. If we want to be able to solve the mystery, we really have to hurry up. The top to the mountain is a long way ahead. We get to the end of the episode. The series is almost over. I assume it's clear there's a mystery. And we found out what the great scorer's answer looks like. We know the path. To get to the finish unseen, to start the greatest mystery of all time. We've got the tools. And what we can pull off in pretty good perfection comes close to starting the mystery. We need the 500K, as the blueprint map describes, out of the truck with the box's keys only. Thanks for watching the series. I hope it met your expectations. Let me know if this has changed your mind, yet in terms of whether there is a GTA 5 mystery, and how we're going to start it. Let me know if you've mastered the race yet, and what you would do with the valet parking locker box to activate it. The final episode will feature some of the entire series in game cam, and a small but significant truth will be revealed. I'm not sure when it will be released. My plan for the series was to hand everyone the knowledge, the tools, and the path through 10 years of mystery hunting. I hope it worked out for you, as I think we've all learned a lot, right? Even I came up with several ideas during editing that made even more puzzle pieces fall into place. I hope it's a clear guide that will help us start the biggest mystery in gaming history in the near future. Feel free to ask whatever you want. Join the subreddit Cracking Chiliad, or use the comments section below the video. Leave a like if you liked the video, and do not forget to subscribe. If we work well together, we might be able to solve this before GTA 6 is released. There's even a possibility it might be delayed, especially if we're short on time. So come on, grab that controller and get started on that mystery.
Is this how you got Mike as a mentor? Being stalked. Don't flatter me.